Doing these videos is it's getting harder and harder to, one, get a good angle so I don't look as fat, and two, not look as grey in certain angles. Anyway, 21 years ago today, Martin O'Neill took over as boss at Celtic Park. When I say that, what comes back? I mean, who can forget that speech he did on the steps of Celtic Park? It's pretty iconic, where it's, you know, he stood there and he was suited and booted, and he said, "It is an honour. It is an absolute honour to be manager of this club, and I will do everything in my power to bring success." That's always stayed with me. That was 21 years ago today. The reason I'm talking about that is I'm about 60,000 words in to a Geordie boy, Alan Thompson. Clues in the name. He was a Geordie and he played for Celtic. He was a bloody good player as well. He was what a player he was. You know, that's my favourite era of going to Celtic Park weekly with certain Celtic supporters clubs, and so I watched everything. I was a paying supporter, and from the years of 2000 to well, he was there till 2007, but he was kind of forced out the door about 2006. He went at Leeds loan and that, and I'm absolutely, as very much like Martin said 21 years ago, I want to repeat it again. I want to say it is an honour. I want to, Tomo, if you're watching, I want to stand there and say it is an honour. I'm absolutely thrilled. I will do everything in my power to bring success to this book. No, seriously, I'm really excited to be doing this. The reason I'm bringing Martin up as well is he's kindly provided the forward. When me and Tomo spoke, we had a short list of about of about 5 people. What a forward is in a book, it should be 1 to 3 pages, and it's your most famous, infamous, notorious, most well-known name linked to your name. So, you know, I'm not naming any, but Tomo had quite a few. And when we first suggested Martin, he was like, yeah. And all the way through this book, you can, obviously there's a lot of funny stories as well. Particularly getting red cards at Ibrox and that, and Martin almost laying one on him. But there's a lot of, you can tell, just the love comes from Tomo's voice. Not only to Martin O'Neill, but to Steve Walford and John Robinson, Wally and Robbo, as they're referred to in the book. And this is my 20th book. I've had some pretty big sellers, nine Amazon bestsellers and 1 Waterstones bestseller. But they've all been in a different genre, true crime, boxing, and I'm hoping this is my first of many. I made a pretty bold statement in the 4 years. I produced 4 books, 3 documentaries, and I was probably the most prolific author in Britain. And I'm speaking to Didier Gat at the minute. I'm really hoping I can tie his book down, because he was another guy who, big hero man. Bit of a rags to riches story as well. Bit of like a Rocky story as a footballer, if that makes sense. He done well to have the career. He was literally so fast. You know, when you're that quick, I mean, Tomo describes him in this book as an athlete, but he had troubles with hamstrings, because the guy was rapid. He was like Roadrunner, Mimi Pyum. He was like the fastest thing I've ever seen on a football pitch, alongside Craig Bellamy. Yeah, I'm talking to another British boxer, world champion. So I'm going to absolutely flood the market. There's not going to be enough trees in the world to able to cope with the amount of books I'm going to produce next couple of years. Got my mojo back. I'm now doing books that... There's a saying that if you enjoy your job, you'll never work a day in your life, and I'm sat there most days listening to all the people I've, but particularly now Alan Thompson, listen to the ins and outs of Celtic, and to give you an insight to how much of a big Celtic supporter I am. My son's called Jameson Lennon Boyle. I didn't name him after the whiskey. It's Jamie's son, but I did name him after Neil Lennon. I did have a dog called Henrik as well, Colo Torre, and my current one now is a Greek staffy called Geordie Samaras II. So that's where I'm at. Do you know what's really funny? It was really funny in the book was Tomo's been to stay at my house a few times. At the first time I had him about 5 days, and he was in the front room, and I had my dog Henrik in his box of ashes. I had Geordie Samaras. My son is named after Neil Lennon, and then there was Tomo. So there was Henrik, Lenny, Tomo, and Sammy all back together. But listen, guys, this book is going to be outstanding. If it's not a bestseller, I'll never write one ever again. It's going to be, as Martin O'Neill would probably say, magnificent. Who can forget that iconic chat in September 2001, 20 years ago, when we lost to Juventus. Pretty iconic. YouTube it, Martin talking. Always remember that, actually. Extraordinary. So I am actually going to send this video to you, Martin. So if you're watching, it's a bit of light-hearted banter, but Tomo speaks of you with complete love, respect. And when this book's done, I would love to do a second book with him. I've already got the title in my head, A Club Like No Other, because this book is about Alan Thompson being brought up in Wallsend, and it finishes to the current day. So it kind of covers everything: is Newcastle, the Aston Villa, the car crash, everything in his life over about 30 chapters. But I see, maybe call me Nostradamus, but I can see in the future for Alan Thompson, and I can see him, nudge nudge, I can actually see him writing a book about Celtic club. I could write a book about Celtic today. I'm very knowledgeable on the club. Come from a long line of Celtic supporters. I lived in Glasgow when I was young. I think we're the only Catholic family to ever come out of Brigton. But if I'd written a book on Glasgow Celtic, no one would give a shit, because I'm a nobody. But obviously Alan Thompson is, and yeah, what a player! What a magnificent player! 151 games, I think it was, and he scored something like 51 goals. 7 Old Firm goals, 3 red cards. I know you don't like me mentioning that, Tomo, but it's a hell of a chapter, if it's any consolation to you in the book. I know it was probably no fun walking past Martin and Gordon Strachan 1, 2, 3 times. But yeah, we remember it. And what else? Your goals: Bayern Munich, Liverpool. Yeah, could go on and on, mate. But listen, this is going to be to quote Martin O'Neill, extraordinary book. And to quote him 21 years ago today, magnificent. Tomo does actually do a little impression of you, Martin, in the book. He's got his mannerisms up to a T, where he says when you talk, you put your hand up to your mouth, and there's lots of funny stories, but again, just full of love. And I'm absolutely honoured and privileged to be given the chance to write it, because obviously everyone knows about the Celtic books come out 15 years ago. I read them. There was John Hartson, there was Neil Lennon, there was Stilian Petrov, Chris Sutton, and I always wondered. I thought, why not Alan Thompson? He was, to give you an inkling how good he was voted joint player of the tournament in that Seville 2003 with Henrik Larsson, and so that's how much of a huge player. I spoke to Martin a couple of times, and he's told me exactly what player he was. People talk about your Hartsons, your Suttons, your Larsons getting the goals, but he supplied the ammunition, and as what John Robinson described him, a wand of a left foot. He was like David Beckham, but on the left, and without the supermodel girlfriend and handsome looks. Tomo, yeah, you know what I mean. That was your words as well. But no, what a player. And you know, I had to, when I started talking to Alan, or Tom as he prefers to be called, I had to put a bit of a poker face on. I was saying just do a book, because I've spoken to one or two. I remember talking to a guy, a Newcastle promoter, and I said, why don't you do an evening with Alan Thompson? I'll get 50, 60 Celtic supporters there straight away. And when I was talking to him, I said, why have you not done a book? And I was like, fucking hell, are you serious? You might want to do one. I was like, and then I was quietly confident. I thought, listen, I'm going to give you a deal that you cannot match on this planet, because I don't want to let you know, but I'm fucking desperate to write your book, and that's what it was. So that's where we've come. But jokes aside, guys, I'm, you know, probably talk a load of dribble, but I'm a very my 20th books, and yeah, I suppose they've been very successful, but this is my first one in football. And I want to make an absolute statement, and I think it's absolutely iconic that, you know, if I do get the Didier Gat one, which I'm quietly confident, I think it's a bit surreal that if I do Thompson's and Didier Gat's, they actually signed on the same day. It was something like September the 3rd, 2000 or something. So, and you know, they were teammates for what, 5-6 years or something. So I imagine they've got very different stories, but yeah, equally as iconic. Didier is certainly the best fullback I've ever seen. I was a bit too young for Danny McGrain, although he was the first Celtic player I ever remember, and I've got pictures of him in my house. But yeah, he's certainly the best fullback I've ever seen. And Tomo, I think you'd probably have to go for maybe him out of Chris Sutton for certainly the best ever Englishman. Maybe, I don't know, maybe of all. Can't think of many. But yeah, you know, I'm a bit like a stuck record now when I'm dribbling on. But huge honour. So listen, guys, a Geordie boy, Alan Thompson, is going to be outstanding. It's going to be coming out. It's not going to be all about football. It's, you know, it's well documented that he's had his struggles with depression, anxiety, divorce, bankruptcy. Yeah, you know, you're living in the Glasgow that goldfish bowl mentality. I've just put a quote on Tomo's page from Ronnie Darler, and he said, I give up my freedom living in Glasgow, which, you know, unless you've lived in the city, you don't quite grasp, but I would do it all again. And you know, listen, there was some big clubs in for Alan Thompson at times. I'm not going to give much of the book away, because I did put something on like this, and he slapped my knuckles. But there was some really, really big. He was in the top 10 of the highest transfers for the British football transfer market in '98. When you look back at that time, you know, that's quite impressive, considering Christian Daly was going for big money, Yap Stam, Dwight York from Aston Villa and Man United, and Tomo was just under 5 million, which is it's obviously a lot of money, but it was a lot more money 23 years ago. You know, and there was some huge clubs in for him, and he could have had his choice. Didn't work out for him at Aston Villa, but you know, if he'd have went somewhere else, would he have had his time at Celtic? And no, absolutely not. And I wouldn't be. And Tomo, if you're watching this, I wouldn't be sat. You wouldn't have had the privilege of somebody like me writing your book. So that's better than everything. That's better than all the league titles, the Seville run, everything. So, right. This is on YouTube, so if anyone wants to follow Alan Thompson, the best way is, he's a bit of a dinosaur. He's not really clued up. He's on He's on Twitter at AlanTomo8, and he's also on Instagram. He's not very clued up, as I said. I think I've heard he's just got a Betamax video. So that's how, you know, stick with him. He will reply. He's got a Facebook page called the Geordie Bhoy. That's run by myself, my wife, and Tomo's better half, Hayley. She's paid by the hour. So yeah, if anyone wants to get in touch about the book, this is going to be, you know, this is going worldwide. Canada, Thailand, America, everybody. And it's not because of me. I'd like to say it's because of my writing skills and how good my books are, but it's not. It's because everyone wants to know about Alan Thompson. Everybody remembers him. You know, I was surprised once because I had a glass of wine with Tomo a couple of weeks back, and he said, Jamie, I was at a boxing event. And he said, it was some dude, Oscar De La Hoya walked in, and he was sad. And Noel Gallagher walked in and went, Alan, can I sit with you? And Tomo was like, fucking Noel Gallagher knows who I am. And I'm like, well, I'm surprised you're surprised. You played in 26 of the biggest games in world football. You were the pantomime villain. You were the hero a few times. 7 goals, 2 winning goals. You know, so you did it all. The good, the bad and the ugly. And there's millions of Celtic supporters worldwide. We breed like flies. If you could imagine, you know, it defies belief. And this is why I actually, probably if you're watching, I'm joking, probably if you're watching Tom, I'd probably give you an even better deal to get you to do this book, because I was that desperate. But yeah, we don't need to go there. But listen, guys, I'm not at Celtic Park, although I might look it. I'm in the Boyle Ponderosa. But listen, this is going to be one outstanding book, and then hopefully a series of Celtic books. I'm talking to other footballers at the minute. I'm not going to name him. There's a Middlesbrough defender. He was probably the hottest prospect in British football about 2007. Lovely guy, big, tall. He could have had his pick of clubs, and got to an England camp as well. And yeah, you know, I want to do footballers' books. I want to do boxers' books. I'm probably done with true crime, to be honest. Yeah, it's not really worth the stress and the hassle and the death threats. Apart from that, it's alright, it's quite interesting. You know, I'd love to do a book on Jack the Ripper in the future. I'm absolutely obsessed with that. I'm talking to some Ripperologists now. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing the Roy Shaw 2 book, the Paul Venice 2 book. And yeah, there's still probably a few more eventually in my life or somewhere. But Thompson's will be my 20th book. And unless a piano falls on my head or gets struck by lightning, I'm going to do 100 books. It's funny, I was just saying, right, I was saying to my wife that I was walking home yesterday, just had a look at a pigeon there, and it just reminded me of a story. I don't really have much luck, but yesterday I was walking home from the shops, went to get some ice cream, and a pigeon missed me by about 2 foot. It was like, pew, it was like did he a gat running past me, and I actually could see it splatter on the floor, and I thought, that is luck. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on. I only meant to do this for a couple of minutes, and I've gone on for 20 minutes. My anxiety is a lot better. Anyone who wants any new hemp, log on our website. New hemp. I'm an ambassador, proud ambassador. It's really changed my life. I was ravaged with anxiety. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm so much better. If you put the code in, Jamie20, you get a 20% discount. We are the cheapest and most effective around. I've checked about 9 of them, and I've fell in love with new hemp. So anyone, you know, it's such a powerful, good thing. John Hartson's actually, he's an ambassador for new hemp, not new hemp, a different CBD oil, but there's millions around the world taking it, and I dread to think what I probably wouldn't be doing these videos, because I was really bad from anxiety, my breathing and all this kind of stuff. as I was on Sean Atwood's last week, and it's when I was on last year, it was embarrassing, and you know, people thought I had my nose rebuilt because I used to box with my face as a kid, but people thought it was different things. I was on drugs and all, you know, I had anxiety. My nose, you know, pictures me years ago, my nose was quite flat, but yeah, it's a lot better. But I'm not going to ramble on. Click and subscribe to this channel, War Cry Publishing. I don't run it, the lads in the office do. I do look at it now and again, so I'm aware I get a lot of nice comments. The bad comments have seemed to have disappeared a little bit since I sorted my hair out. Yeah, I had a kind of the half a fleck look, serial killer. Watched the Joker film, and I grew my hair like that for about 18 months, and the wife was like, Jamie, you are aware that Joaquin Phoenix got that look because he was trying to portray a mentally disturbed patient, but I thought it was great, and that's why I had the hair. But I've gone back to, I'm not as grey as you know, I've chopped a bit of the grey off, but anyway, I'm 41 and I'm privileged to have hair at this age anyway, so beggars can't be choosers. Guys, thank you so much, big love and support. Remember, don't be a dick. The world's not in a funny place at the minute, so just, you know, everyone be nice, and anyone wants to get in touch with me, at Jamie Boyle 10, Twitter, Jamie Boyle author, Facebook, what else is there? Jamie Boyle author, Instagram, and War Cry Publishing on YouTube. I think that's it. Apart from that, I'm reachable with the odd death threat, bullets in the post. Alan Thompson even had shit said in the post. So yeah, listen, you know, Oscar Wilde said there's only one thing worse than being talked about, and that's not being talked about. So Josh Warrington said to me the other week, he went, Jamie, if they're talking about you, even if they're slagging you off, it's still good. So listen, there's a lot to be learned. All this human nature things. Since the last couple of years, since I've been in the spotlight, I've learned a lot about human behaviour. People can dislike you. You know, we're all guilty, I suppose, of doing it. How many of us dislike footballers we've never met? And yeah, it's, you know, but anyway, yeah, spread love, peace, and God bless. Thank you so much. Don't forget to click and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for your time. And I'm really at Celtic Park.